させてしまう。だから今の受け入れられる別のとかなん
すぐ新選組を離れて療養した方がいい。空気のきれいな場所でゆっくりと。
新選組を離れる、それはできません。
legend. Just a story. A story to scare little kids. But
大谷郁恵さん。
What's up, ghouls and gals? It's me, Ryan.T here, and let's get the fucking podcast started, shall we? Alright, ghouls and gals. Like all my podcasts, we're gonna start out with the fucking news, with 5 stories of today's pop culture news. So let's get those fucking out of the way. Alright, so our first story stars Mel Gibson, who is possibly the most racist person that I've ever seen in my life, or at least the most racist looking person that I've ever seen in my life. Let's take a glimpse here at Mel Gibson. Yeah, this guy right here, he looks like the ultimate fucking racist. He looks like the super supreme fucking racist. And you want to know why the reason that I'm bringing up this super supreme racist right now? This racist Crunchwrap Supreme? The reason why I'm bringing him up right now is because, surprisingly enough, old Melly Gibson said some racist shit when he was drunk. Yeah, if you can believe it, this guy right here drinks. He drinks alcohol. I don't know, yeah. I didn't believe it myself, guys. Well, this is exactly what the most racist man on the planet, Mel Gibson, said. He apparently was hanging out with actress Winona Ryder. And this was over a decade ago. And I'm not into, like, cancel culture or anything like that. But, I mean, if every year a new allegation of you comes out of you being racist, you might be a fucking racist. I don't know. That's just me. I don't make the rules on who's racist and who's not racist. But that might be a pretty keen indicator that you're racist if you're constantly being called out for racist behavior. I don't know. That's just me. But anyway, let's get back to what a drunken Mel Gibson said to Winona Ryder at a party. Apparently, Winona Ryder and her friend, who's a homosexual. The only reason I bring that up is because it's relevant to the story. It'll be relevant right now in a second. Give me a moment before you fucking judge me. But apparently, Winona Ryder and her homosexual friend were hanging out at this party, and a drunken Mel Gibson kind of like stumbled upon them, and Once he found out that Winona Ryder's friend was gay, Mel Gibson said something like this. "Oh, who's gay? Oh, wait, am I gonna get AIDS or something?" Direct quote. That's a direct quote from Mel Gibson. He 100%, according to Winona Ryder, said this. "Who's gay? Oh, wait, am I gonna get AIDS?" Which, a guy that looks like this, he definitely says some shit like that. That guy says a lot of racist stuff. I mean, come on. Just look at the guy. And, he didn't finish there. Mel Gibson, this guy right here, that guy right there. For those of you that are listening on Spotify, I'm showing pictures of Mel Gibson's drunk ass. And, this guy right here, Mel Gibson, he didn't finish there. He went on to tell Winona Ryder this. He goes, "Hey, you aren't one of those oven dodgers, are you?" Yeah, he found out Winona Ryder was Jewish, and apparently, according to him, the appropriate response was, "Hey, you're not one of those oven dodgers, are you, Winona?" And the upside down, do they call you an oven dodger? Is that a fucking compliment? In the upside down, fucking racist ass Mel Gibson. Jesus Christ, man. Like, how have we given Mel Gibson a pass for this long? Like, Jesus Christ, the dude is fucking, like, insane. He's literally Mad Max. He's fucking mad to the max. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. I literally can't stand fucking Mel Gibson. I can't fucking stand him, and that's because I hate cancel culture. I feel like we're canceling everybody left and right, and we should stop fucking canceling everybody left and right. But if we're canceling fucking Mel Gibson, I will fucking lead the charge to cancel fucking Mel Gibson, because I fucking hate that dude. I don't even know how that guy is still getting fucking movie roles today. Jesus Christ, I feel like I'm fucking taking crazy pills. Am I the only person that thinks Mel Gibson's a fucking, like, racist fucking pig? Jesus Christ. Moving on to somebody else that's not a racist fucking pig. Joel Schumacher, who directed quite possibly two of the worst Batman and Robin movies. Unfortunately, passed away at the age of 80. Schumacher was battling cancer and unfortunately succumbed to his illness. The director was most known for arguably, again, two of the worst Batman films. He directed Batman and Robin, as well as Batman Forever, and those are considered two of the worst Batman films. I mean, my personal opinion aside, I mean, they're like just widely known as the worst fucking Batman films. You had fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, very fucking entertaining as Mr. Freeze, but he's fucking ridiculous. You have him going around saying fucking ice puns every 2 seconds. Every 2 seconds he's like, hey Batman, I must ice you a question. You see what I said there, Batman? I said ice, because I'm Mr. Freeze, and I do ice things. Yeah, yeah. Ice to meet you, Batman. Yeah, I'm so clever. Yeah, he kept doing that, and that wasn't good. And at one point, Batman had a Batman credit card? Like, what the fuck? Batman doesn't have a credit card? Well, I'm sure he has a fucking credit card, but he doesn't pull it out, and he's like, put it on the Bat card. Like, no, that doesn't happen. That doesn't ever happen. However, those aren't the only things that Joel Schumacher made. Joel Schumacher is responsible for possibly one of the greatest vampire movies of all time. He's responsible for The Lost Boys, an 80s classic, 80s Kiefer Sutherland classic that everybody seems to love. And he's also responsible for St. Elmo's Fire, another 80s classic that oddly features another person using a sax. Who, if y'all remember, they had the sax man in Lost Boys, and St. Elmo's Fire has a saxophone dude. So I think Joel Schumacher had a thing for saxophones, or dudes that play the saxophone. And another film that Joel Schumacher was a part of or directed was Falling Down with Michael Douglas. And this is one of the most, this is one of those films where you can see, like, somebody's breaking point. What happens when somebody literally has a fucking mental breakdown. This film is essentially a mental breakdown mixed in with what I would assume Grand Theft Auto the movie would be like. That is what Falling Down is like, and I suggest that everybody go out and see that movie. You just got a little mini review for Falling Down, and I suggest you go and watch Falling Down after this fucking podcast is over, and go and check it out. It's fucking amazing. I'm sure that it's streaming somewhere, like on Amazon. I'm sure some streaming service will gladly take your money and let you watch Falling Down. Alright, speaking of some film news, of some Batman film news, we have some really fucking interesting news, and I just said news like 5 fucking times in a row, and that is alarming to me. That's news to me. So yeah, we have Michael Keaton, who's in talks to reprise his role as Batman in the upcoming Flashpoint movie starring Ezra Miller as the Flash, which to me is fucking crazy that they're gonna bring back Michael Keaton. I think that they should. It'd be fucking interesting as fuck if they brought back Michael Keaton. He is quite possibly my second favorite Batman. I love him as Bruce Wayne / Batman. Specifically, this one scene that he has in Batman, like Tim Burton's Batman, just titled Batman. He has this one scene where he's Bruce Wayne, and he's out of the Batman costume, and he's with Vicky Vale, who's played by Kim Basinger, and they're like in his house, his palatial fucking mansion, Wayne Manor, and the Joker, played by Jack Nicholson, comes in, and he like is trying to like abduct like Vicky Vale, and then like Bruce Wayne like steps in, and he's like, hey, back the fuck off, like basically he's like, back the fuck off, and then the Joker's just like, whoa, hey, kind of like, hey, this rich guy, he's trying to fucking step to me, that's pretty funny. And well, like, Michael Keaton, he does this one scene, like this one thing in the movie, in that specific scene, he does this one thing that just made me believe, like, okay, yeah, this guy, he most definitely is capable of dressing up as a bat and beating up fucking people at night. He fucking, like, gets the fire poker from the fireplace and breaks a fucking vase, and he's like, "You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts!" And he fucking is like, "Ha! Ha!" He like does that, and I'm like, when I was a kid, I was watching it as a kid, and I was like, that guy's fucking crazy. That's exactly what fucking Batman would be. Batman would be fucking crazy. Because let's face it, anybody that wants to spend their nights as a fucking, dressed as a fucking human bat and go out and beat up fucking criminals for like low level shit, as well as beating up other costume supervillains, you would have to be fucking crazy and living in a crazy fucking place. And Michael Keaton perfectly portrays that character. You truly believe, you're like, okay, this Bruce Wayne guy, he's a fucking nutcase, but a cool one. As Christian Bale, he's my favorite Batman, and he does the same thing. I mean, he does the American Psycho thing where you're just like, yeah, he's this rich, weird American dude who's just kind of like, I don't know what to do with my money. I'm a fucking white guy. I don't know what to do, so I'm gonna go beat up fucking criminals. Wait, is Batman racist? Nah, he's not racist. Well, we're just not gonna talk about that. We're just not gonna get into that. But yeah, Michael Keaton as Batman, like literally like what, 20-25 years later, would be pretty cool. He could play like kind of a Nick Fury role for the DCU, because they need to do fucking something in the DCU. They need to do something there. They need to like reinvigorate themselves, and maybe this is the move. Maybe the Flashpoint movie does a kind of Into the Spider-Verse type thing where they kind of like show different versions of Batman. Hell, it'd be cool to see like a Batman Beyond. Maybe even have fucking Michael Keaton in a Batman Beyond like type fucking suit, which would be fucking amazing. Even to see this exact scene that I have on screen right now, which is Bruce Wayne, Michael Keaton holding up a newspaper that says Flash is missing with the Batman cowl in the background. I mean, that would be fucking phenomenal to see. That'd be fucking phenomenal. And according to DC Warner Brothers, they are going to give us a little bit of insight or some news on on what Michael Keaton's role in the movies and that specific movie would be, or if he would have a role moving onward. And we would be able to see that on August 22nd when they have the DC Fandom event that's going to be streaming on YouTube and pretty much anywhere that shit streams. So yeah, that's going to be pretty fucking cool. And moving on to our next story, we have The Last of Us 2. If you remember last week, we talked about The Last of Us Part 2, which is a super popular fucking video game that everybody fucking plays, except for me. I haven't played it yet. My PlayStation is still fucking overheating and exploding, and it's fucking pissing me off. It's so angering and maddening. But yeah, so The Last of Us 2, people with working PS2s, PS2s, that would be really fucking weird if somebody was playing this on a PS2. If you're playing this on a PS2, let me know so I can send you my PS4 and you can at least play with that or play with your wiener or something. I don't know. But yeah, so people are pretty pissed off about The Last of Us Part 2. Apparently, people who have purchased The Last of Us Part 2 are pretty fucking upset because The Last of Us Part 2, spoilers, kills one of the main characters, Joel, who was like integral into the part of the first Last of Us, which I played the first one, and yeah, Joel's like the main character of the first part, and apparently he gets killed by some chick named Abby in the game, and people were not happy about that. Not only does he get killed in the game, but he gets killed within like the first couple minutes of the game, and you don't even get to fucking play as him really, and so people are pretty fucking pissed off about that, and they're also pretty pissed off about that this chick right here is a playable character and not Joel, and I'm pretty sure people would rather play as somebody they know as opposed to somebody they now hate because that person killed somebody that they did actually like. So yeah, maybe, you know, that's just me, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, what do I know? So apparently this is when Joel dies. I mean, again, spoilers, I haven't played the game, so yeah, this is apparently when he dies, and apparently she hits him with a blunt object and kills him. I don't know. I was gonna say apparently one more time, and I was like, fuck that. If I say it one more time, I'm gonna apparently fucking bang my head against a fucking apparent fucking wall. So I'm sorry. But yeah, people are also upset that it isn't a worthy successor to the original Last of Us game, which was it ever going to be? Like, was it ever really going to be a worthy successor to the fucking, to the original Last of Us game? I don't think so. I don't think it was ever going to be. Like, I honestly don't think it was ever going to be a worthy successor to those games. Yeah, so we're going to move on. We're going to go to our fifth and final story. Universal Pictures is going to reboot Twister. Yeah, Twister. The fucking movie starring Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton. Why in the fuck would Universal Studios want to reboot the most fucking random movie ever about the most fucking random fucking topic ever? It's a fucking movie about a twister. It's in the fucking title. And it's just like two white people being white chasing a fucking twister. Like, what? And apparently the fucking guy that's directing Top Gun Maverick, the new Top Gun movie that's coming out later on this year, Joseph Kosinski. You know what? One thing I noticed as a film critic, if you didn't know I'm a film critic, I nonstop bring it up all the fucking time because, I think it's cool. Anyway, but yeah, as a film critic, I always found it odd that directors always have weird names, like Joseph Kosinski or Guillermo del Toro. Like, they all have like names that are like crazy and weird, and maybe that's by like choice. And like, there's never no director like that's like, hey, my name's Tim Smith and I directed Superman 6. You know what I mean? Like, there's never like any director like that. Like, maybe the most normal director name is like Steven Spielberg, and even that name is like fucking like crazy, like Steven Spielberg. And James Cameron, that's another director name that's kind of normal, but that's a cool name too. Like, you never have any directors with like regular fucking names. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm the only person that notices that. But yeah, back to the actual fucking topic. They're rebooting Twister, and I think that is fucking stupid, and I don't think they need to reboot it because it's not even that good of a movie. And let's look at the comments for a second while I drink a beer. Oh, hey, what's up? We have one of my followers from Twitter's on the chat. That's awesome. We have DeadSite956 who's always on. Hey man, what's up? And we got my friend Aaron on the chat too. He found it. Savage, chill, freeze. Yeah, it's classic freeze. And Batman, he may not be racist because he does have a black sidekick in the comic books. Batman, if y'all aren't reading the current Batman comic books, there's a character by the name of the Signal, and he is a Batman's kind of, not Robin, but like he helps Batman, and he's a character that Batman's trained and stuff and whatnot. So basically like his Robin, but not his Robin because he's black, and Batman's just like, I'm not gonna make you force you to be my partner. But yeah, the Signal, yeah, he's a cool character. But yeah, anyways, why was I talking about that? Oh yeah, Batman, he's not racist. He has a black friend. Right, I feel like I'm sticking up for a racist, right? Like, he's not racist, he knows black people. He saw one time. And I'm pretty sure he like shook hands with one time as well. Alright, Needed to drink a beer. A motherfucker was parched. Because I'm speaking at a fucking million words per second. I was about to break the sound barrier for how fucking fast that I was talking. Alright, we're gonna move on to our topic of the day. Let's talk about our topic of the day. Our topic of the day is some sexy time, yay. It's about all the weird shit that my wiener and myself have got into. Let's talk about sexual encounters with Ryan.T. That's my new theme song. I'm gonna start playing that every time I have consensual sex with a woman, or plant, object, or mineral. Oh yeah, but today's topic, if y'all didn't guess by the title of the podcast, is sexual encounters of the odd kind, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about. All right, let's get it started, ghouls and gals. I honestly think that we cannot start talking about this without not going back to the beginning. We got to go to the beginning in order to talk about this. So let's go back to the beginning. I'm gonna add. I wish I could add like a Wayne's World effect, like a. Okay, now we're back in the past. We're in 2008, almost 2009, and it's a freshman Ryan.T. who was chilling at a place that I used to call HQ with my friends at the time. And HQ was basically just like this abandoned fucking building that was next to one of my friends' houses. And we would all go like smoke weed there. A bunch of like 15-year-old kids would like go and smoke weed there all the fucking time and just like hang out. And we would like steal beers from like their drunk uncles and shit like that. So yeah, we were hanging out there one weekend. It was like a Friday. I remember specifically it was a Friday because I snuck onto the bus. And the bus driver was like, "Who the fuck are you?" Like, he was like a typical like fat bus driver. And he was like, "Who the fuck are you? Only blonde person in the entire school." And I was like, "Nobody, mister. I'm just gonna go not smoke weed and drink beer with my friends." And then I went to the back. I went to go sit with my friends, and we took off, and I got a ride over there to where my friend lived, and we all got off, and we're hanging out there. We're drinking, smoking, and then we had this girl, an upperclassman. Yeah, an upperclassman. I think she was like a junior. I think she was like a junior at the time. I'm not gonna say her name because where I went to school was like super small. And then like one of my friends that I went to school with is like watching this right now, so that I'm not gonna reveal that person's name. But yeah, we were hanging out. We're hanging out right at HQ, drinking, smoking, and like just jokingly, like I was like, I'm gonna call up, beep, and be like, "Hey, wanna fuck?" And then like my friends, like, you know, them being teenagers, they were just like, You're not down. You're not gonna do it. Oh, you're a fucking pussy." And I was like already kind of like drunk. I had like half a beer, and I was like, me with my half a beer, I was like, "You think I'm a caller? You think I'll call her with my phone and my voice and my hands to dial the number?" And I did all that. And I called, and I was like, "Hey, beep, do you want to fuck? You want to fuck right now? I'm gonna fuck the shit out of you." Meanwhile, like I never had sex at this point. I was a fucking kid. I was like 14, almost 15, and I was like, man, I mean, what am I gonna do? Like, you know? And she was like, "What are you gonna do?" And I was like, "All of the things, the sexual things." And so like my friend was able to like sneak the keys from like his mom, and they had like this boat, like this fucking straight up boat, like a fucking, it was like a Lincoln Continental or something, like a really big fucking car, or like no, you know what, it was an Oldsmobile, but like a really big fucking Oldsmobile. And they were like, yeah, she was like, "Yeah, come pick me up." And I was like, oh fuck, I got like a little tingle in my nutsack. I was like, oh shit, it's gonna happen, Captain. Ryan.T's about to bust his fucking cherry like in my fucking hair right now, my cherry red hair. And so I drove over to Beep's house, pulled up to her driveway, got off like a straight up fucking pimp. I got off that fucking car like a fucking doctor. I went in there like it was a fucking operating room. I was like, "Hey, beep, get your fucking ass in the car." Nah, I didn't say that, but like in my mind, I like said something cool like that. But I think I really was just like, "Hey, what's up?" Like, yeah, we're gonna go hang out like in the back roads, and I have weed, and like, you know, you're like a freshman, and you have weed, and you live in a small town, and like nobody really has a lot of access to weed, and you're like one of the only people that has like pretty good access to weed. So they were just like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna suck this dude's dick because he has weed." Little I didn't know that though. Yeah, so we went into my friend's Oldsmobile, took off to the back roads, and it was like me, that girl, and like two other dudes like stuffed in the back, and then like the driver, my friend, and then another dude. So it was like a bunch of dudes and one fucking chick. I could just like imagine this like chick being like, "Are they gonna fucking do some weird shit to me? Are they gonna Kevin Spacey me right now? Are they gonna 6ix9ine me right now? Are they gonna R. Kelly me right now?" All right, that's the last one. Are they gonna Bill Cosby me right now? Okay, that was the last one. So yeah, we're hanging out, and then everybody leaves the car, and they're just all like, "We'll leave y'all two alone." And so they like get out, and they're like hanging out in the field, being like, "Ryan, he's fucking getting some," and like, you know, I was in the car getting some, and then the reason why I say that this encounter was so odd and so weird was because, like, this person was, like, so far more experienced than I was. Like, it was 100% obvious that this person was far more experienced than I was. Not only that, they had like the body of like a 26-year-old woman already. They already were like had the body of like a fucking porn star, or at least to a fucking 15-year-old virgin, they had the fucking body of a porn star. So I was already just like what? Like I was about to have a fucking stroke. Like my dick and myself were both about to have separate strokes. My dick was about to have a stroke, and I was about to have a fucking stroke. So we were there fucking hanging out. Everybody left, like I said. We're in the back of the Oldsmobile. Shit starts happening. She takes off her clothes. I see my first, like, pair of boobs in my face for the first time. Like, you know, every other time before this was, like, on TV or a picture. And this is the first time, like, in real fucking life. And it's just, like, instantly, like, what? Like, right now, like, if my glasses could fucking crack. I was like, oh? I was like, Like, I did, like, the fucking Tim Allen Home Improvement noise. And I didn't even make that noise. My dick made that noise. It was like, But yeah, so we did our thing or whatever. I'm not gonna go into fucking graphic fucking detail, but yeah, we did our thing or whatever, and it was just so odd. The reason that it was so odd was because that she was so much more fucking experienced than I was. Like, I was like sitting there like, okay, what do I do? Like, Ryan, remember all those times you watched Cinemax, and remember all those times you watched that fucking chick that talks about fucking sex toys and shit. Remember your techniques. You saw American Pie 6 times the other day. So yeah, we did our thing, and I was sitting there, and like, she pulls my pants down and straight goes for the blowjob, right? And I was just like, whoa, hey, whoa. I was like, oh, oh. I was like, talk about a fucking twister, am I right? I was like, that was the real Twister. If the Twister reboot is like that, then fucking, I'm in. I'm in like fucking sin if that's a Twister reboot. If it's just a reenactment of me losing my virginity in an Oldsmobile in a fucking random field, that would be a perfect version of Twister. Like, as it's happening, a tornado, a Twister's coming, and then you see it off from the far background, and I'm just there like, whoa, 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 like making one of those faces, and then the Twister picks up the car, and like in a Wizard of Oz type like scenario, it swirls around the entire fucking Twister. That would be fucking epic. That would be fucking hilarious. Because I am high. But yeah, that was one of the weirdest, not weirdest, but not even that odd. It was just odd because of how inexperienced I was and how ill prepared I was for that situation. Like, I literally lost my virginity on a dare. Like, on people just like teasing me like, you won't do it. Meanwhile, like, they never had sex at that point in time. They were all like, you know, like every person that hadn't had sex before, like, we've all been teenagers, and how that, the guy that hasn't done it, he's all just like, I did it before, but she's not from here. You don't know her name. She lives on Mars. Her parents, they own a condo on Mars, and they homeschool her there. You don't know her. I mean, my mom and dad, they took me on a vacation over there, and that's how I met her. Some shit like some shit like that. So that's why it always stuck out to me, that it was just such a weird encounter. And I'm semi-friends with that person to this day. And we've talked about it before, and I brought that up to her, and she was just like, I had no idea that I was your first or whatever. So yeah, that's weird. A weird / odd / first time sexual encounter that I had. They say, goes, the spring break infomercial trained you for this. We all been there. Jesse Martinez. We all, in fact, have been there. There you go. All right. I'm going to read some of the comments right now on YouTube. For those of you listening in on Spotify, I'm currently reading some of the YouTube comments. It goes, imagine it as a news headline, like front page type of thing. Hell yeah, G. I'm going to be here till you hit. #956. Hell yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Parched as fuck. And what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. You know what? Speaking of, I'm going to go back to the Arnold Schwarzenegger thing. I imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone trying to order like food out of a drive-through like menu, like at a McDonald's or something. Like imagine they're in the same car and Arnold Schwarzenegger pulls up and he's like,
Yeah, I want the 10-piece chicken nugget, with a sweet and sour sauce, yeah, yeah.
and then Sylvester Stallone's just like,
Hey, I'll take McRib, if you have one or something, McRib, maybe a English McMuffin?
yeah, that would be like the fucking like hardest fucking drive-through fucking order ever. Like yeah, that would be impossible. And then like imagine like the person taking the drive-through order is John Travolta and he's like, "Oh my god, it's so weird. I can't even understand what you're saying." And it's like, "You want a chicken nugget or do you want a hot pocket or what? It's so crazy." Yeah, it would be something like that and it would be insane. Anyways, back to what we were talking about. We were talking about like funny sex stuff, right? All right, let's get back to that. Okay. Let me light one. Let me light a bleezy, as the kids say. Actually, nobody says the word bleezy. I don't suggest that you say it because you'll sound corny as fuck like I just did. And I feel like I felt like cool, like the coolness, not like the temperature, but like the cool factor leaving my body as I said it. And I could feel y'all like kind of like wincing, like, "Oh, did he just say bleezy? What a fucking corny asshole." But yeah, anyways, let me light one up. Okay, my next story is going to be again from my more formidable years when I was like about 19. This is a weird one. This is a weird one, and it's kind of like dirty. Not dirty because it's sexual, but dirty because it happened in a dirty place. I was eating at Harlingen, Texas, while I was about to get some ass. So yeah, I was eating in Harlingen. I was eating at Cece's Pizza. I wanted to say Little Caesars. I don't know why. That's why it took me a while to say the name. But yeah, I was eating at Cece's Pizza, and I would go there a lot because I would like smoke weed behind the Cece's Pizza, and I would like go in there and like munch out for like a little bit of money and like be high eating the fuck out of food. And so I was hanging out there, and this was when like the mall was like popping. Like people would actually hang out at the fucking mall, at the Valley Vista Mall in Harlingen. Like people would actually fucking be there. And I was like one of those mall rats. Like I was always hanging out at the mall all the fucking time. Always at the mall. Never had any money to buy anything because I spent all my money like on weed or like pizza or something. And yeah, so I would always just hang out at the mall. And I had got like a well-known, like, not following, but people got to know who I was around the mall. And I was a fucking horny little kid, so I'd like bang like anything that moved like at the mall. And so I was hanging out at the Cece's Pizza smoking weed, and there was this chick, and I'll say her name because like, fuck her. So, there was this chick named Selena, and we would hang out a lot, and we would smoke weed and make out and stuff, and she would like, you know, like give me head and like do her like jack me off or whatever. And like we were like we had never had sex, right? Like we had never had sex. We just never did, you know, like it just never happened, you know, because every time we hung out, it was like at the mall, and we would be like fucking fooling around again, like a JCPenney's, like in the like pillow section or something like that, like something fucking silly like that. Like I could imagine like some creepy fucking security guard somewhere, like fucking like being like, "Oh yeah, kissed her, little blonde-haired boy. Yeah, yeah," or something like that, right? But yeah, so we were hanging out, and I was at Cece's, right? Cece's Pizza. I finished eating my pizza. I was higher than a fucking kite, right? And I was like gonna go into the video game section there, because anybody that's been in a Cece's Pizza anywhere or back in the day, they had like an arcade, and they had Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and so I was playing it higher than a kite. And then my phone rings, my like fucking ZTE flip phone, homeboy, because like I didn't have a touch screen phone yet. I still had a flip phone at that time, so I had a flip phone. Called me on the flip phone, and like my phone was so old, you could hear like the internet dial tone, like, and I was like, "Yo, what up, girl?" And she was like, "Hey, it's me, Selena." And I was like, "I have caller ID. What's up?" And so like we're talking on the phone, and I was like, yeah, I'm at CC's Pizza. Oh shit, you're at the mall? I was like, well, technically I finished eating pizza, but I could eat some more pizza, and I have another $5 if you want to eat pizza too. And like, you know, that's all it took. Like, that was a player move. They were like, this dude has $5 and he's gonna buy me pizza. Like, dude, that's all it took back in the day, bro. That's all it took back in the day. Now I gotta have a car and a job, and it's just like, ugh, fuck, gay. I mean, can I say that? Can I say gay? No, it's lame. Strike that from the record. But yeah. So anyways, we're hanging out at the CC's Pizza. I'm eating more pizza, and she's eating pizza. We finish eating, and I told her, hey, let's go smoke weed like behind the fucking Dollar Tree right there. They have like this dumpster area, and nobody can see us. It's gonna be so romantic. Like, or so I thought in my fucking head for some reason. And so we're going back to this dumpster thing, right? And like we're behind it, and it's like enclosed. It's like a big dumpster, and they have like this trash like kind of compactor type thing that's like blocking in like another entrance. So like you can kind of only fit in there if like you're like a teenager, like skinny. So like we kind of like slide in there, get in there, and there's like boxes all over the floor, right? And so like we sit down and we start smoking, right? I have like a pipe and we're like smoking weed, and then we start making out, like, which we would normally do all the time, and we start fooling around or whatever, and then like I like kind of like, I was gonna say push her down, but that sounds like super aggressive. But I like kind of like lay her down. That sounds more like sensual and sexy, right? Like I like lay her down, and like she's just like, just do it. Like I remember she's just like, just do it, like do it. And I was like, and I already knew like, well, you know what that means. So like I like started doing it, and as I was doing it, like I like, for some reason I like closed my eyes. I don't know why. At that time I closed my eyes and I was like doing it, and like I opened them, and what I opened them too was like the weirdest fucking face that I had ever seen in my life. The face that she was making was honestly the weirdest fucking face till this day that I have ever fucking seen any woman make, like pre-climax or during climax, because I assume that was like her face, like her face. And by I mean orgasm, if I have to spell it out for you. But yeah, it was the weird. She was like, like that. She was like, I was like, what the fuck? And the reason that I remember it is because like I literally stopped. I stopped what I was doing, and like I like was like, what the fuck? Like I thought something was wrong with her. Like I was like, are you okay? Like I literally said, I was like, are you okay? And she was like, no, I'm fine. Like she was like, I'm fine. I'm fine. I was like, what are you Jim Carrey in the fucking Mask? Like, why did your face fucking morph into some fucking scary fucking sinister looking fucking monster? It was insane. It was literally fucking insane, dude. Yeah. And like now that I'm thinking about it and where we had sex behind a fucking dumpster. And not even to like put emphasis on the fact that I had sex near a dumpster / next, not even near, like basically like on the dumpster. Like that's not even the weird part of the story. The weird part of the story was that her fucking face, like Jim Carrey, she was like that. Like what? Has that ever happened to anybody else? Where they make a fucking weird, like, oh, it just threw me off. It just completely threw me off. Moving on. We're going to move on to something else. Let's read the comments. We're going to read the comments again. Okay, let's see. It goes, dead as fuck. Laughed my ass off. Great impression. He goes, I say I'm a smoke BLT, but I think I'm talking about a sandwich. I have smoked a sandwich or two in my day. He goes, I can see the confusion with the BLT. He goes, back in the day, our version of Mars. Honestly, Jesse, yeah. Honestly, Jesse, yeah, like that was cool back in the day. Like I remember you were in the mall too. You were in that scene too, and yeah, like back in the day, the mall was so fun, dude. Like it was so fun. Like I just remember like back in the day, they had Mervyn's, they had all this. There was no empty spaces in the mall. And that was the cool thing about the mall. Like, it was honestly like a movie. Like, it was when you watch a movie, like Stranger Things, a TV show or something. Like, Stranger Things, whatever. Like, the mall was fucking popping, dude. All right, back to the goes LOL Aaron, the good old sidekick. Pro gamer move. That was a pro gamer move. And shit does happen, dude. Honestly, that could be like the title of like my autobiography. Shit happens. The Ryan.T story. I'm gonna get into one more story, and then we'll end it there. I'm gonna get into a more recent story. I feel like I've just been talking a lot about my like formidable years or my like younger years. So I want to talk about one more of a weird thing that happened to me when I was an adult. And this story actually made me want to record this podcast because one of my Facebook friends on Facebook, right? Because I said Facebook friend. Posted a meme or a picture that was just like, what's your oddest sexual encounter? And I was like, what is my oddest sexual encounter? And the first one that popped into my head was this story right now that I'm going to get into. This happened about... I'm 26 now, and I was about 24. So 2 years ago. This happened 2 years ago. Here in this room right here, in this area right here is where it happened. I remember it was like summer because it was hot and my aircon was like not working right and I was kind of like sweating a lot and we were listening to like I forgot where we were listening to, but I remember it because of what she did. She was riding on top of me. I was laying on this bed right here to my left, and things were getting hot and heavy, and it was fun. I was having a good time. I was pretty day drunk. Was day drunk as fuck. Like, I had been drinking fucking Patron the whole day. Like, I had been drinking Patron and tea, sweet tea all day. I don't know why, but I like Patron and sweet tea. And I've been drinking that all day long prior to this chick coming over. And this chick would come over all the time. She lived in the adjacent town. She lived in Sebastian. She lived in the adjacent town, Sebastian. And we were doing our thing, right? And she was on top of me. She's riding me. She's going to town. And like I noticed like she has her hands up like that. Like she's like kind of like rocking back, riding me like with her hands up, going like that, kind of doing a yeah pose. And like she like goes like oh like that, and like puts her fists down, like pounds down, like I'm assuming unknowingly. Like I don't think she like was meaning to do this. Like she pounded down. Like pounded down like hard, like you hear that, like that, like hard, like that, like it's like hard, like as hard as she fucking could. Like she just went like oh poo, and she hit me so fucking hard, dude, that like hard enough for me to fucking notice and stop. I was like, what the fuck? Like I literally went like that, and we had a moment where we were like looking up at each other. And we were like weird, like what the fuck? Like even she was like, what did I just do? Like, that's the reason why I remember this, like, specific encounter so much, because of, like, that brief fucking moment where, like, she registered in her mind, like, that she unknowingly did something, and I registered in my mind, I was like, oh, she just unknowingly did something, and, like, I didn't even react, like, I wasn't like, like, bitch, like, I didn't fucking, like, snap her out or anything. I was just like, what the fuck just happened? And she like paused too and was like, the fuck just happened? And like we like continued, right? And like we never brought it up till this day. I'm friends with that person still now. We don't hook up anymore. She has like kids and shit and like a husband or whatever, but till this day we have never brought that up, never talked about it, never brought it up. I've never brought it up like talking about it till right now. And it's been like 2 years, and it was like, to me, in my opinion, like regardless of the first time I had sex, the one I just told you about previously, this encounter to me, in my opinion, is the weirdest encounter to me because of that brief fucking moment, that we both had where we both registered exactly what was going on. Like it felt like if we were two people that like had an out of body experience and floated above each other, we're kind of like, that was fucking weird, wasn't it? But like never spoke about it again. I think that's what made it even more like memorable for me, that we just never talked about it again. Like never talked about it again. It's fucking weird. Just really weird. All right, ghouls and gals. I'm going to end the podcast right there. We went for a good while this time. It says right here, 1 hour and 20 minutes. And so 30 of those minutes were the actual like the music portion of the podcast. So we went for like an hour. I've never gone for that long. And it's kind of funny that the podcast where I talk about sex is the podcast where I go very long. How about stamina? I'm a sexy man that has stamina. All right, ghouls and gals. I'm Ryan.T, and thanks for watching. Thanks for listening if you're listening on Spotify. And just thanks for supporting me in everything that I do. Thanks, ghouls and gals, and I'll see you, or you'll hear me, in the next one.